Our backup proposal for professional players is P&A insurance. As we all know, that football players, whether professional or college, play a contact sport. Players can get hurt at any moment, whether it's practice or a live game. They play the game with a risk that they can get hurt and never play this game again. That is why we are proposing an insurance claim for these players. For college players, receiving the insurance means that they would collect based on what was their draft status, whatever round that player would fall.
Whatever round really that player would fall is projected out by the insurance company. One big insurance company that does it is actually Lloyd's of London, sorry, insurance company, and they project where the player will be drafted in order to come up with the payout number for that player. In return, the player pays a premium throughout that year in order to be protected by that insurance company from injury, making them fall in the draft.
Then that is what they will receive as one-time compensation. This would also be fit for professional players. They would be put in a category of where they are on the market. If a team was given a player a contract or is under contract for X amount of dollars, then the insurance will be covering an amount over the course of one contract. Every year, that player's premium will be evaluated to determine what is his value at that point in time.
Really, what this comes down to is that the insurance company is covering not only the player but also the agent as a package deal. When the player is drafted, they would come to our insurance company and ask us to cover them for their contract, in which they would pay premiums on the full contract and then in return be covered for loss of value based on a loss of value insurance for if they received an injury and lost and which killed their production, which made them lose a lot of value when going into their second contract. As we all know, most players are paid in their second contract, and one perfect example of our business model would be Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, which not a lot of people know, is one of the best receivers in the NFL. His production over the past 5 years, after his rookie contract, he got a second contract that was paid at a second wide receiver level of 5 years, $42 million. Through the contract, he's actually had the highest production of all receivers in the NFL. So, in our business model, what would have happened is after this contract, he would have come to our insurance company based on when he would come in any year of his contract with his agent in order to cover him for his next contract to ensure he doesn't get loss of value. They pay premiums over the course of this contract in order to cover from our end in order for us to make money. In addition, ensure safety through injury-related instances that would hurt the next contract that the player would get. So, as we stated, it covers the first year of the contract as well as the agent's loss. So what that means is that essentially if the player, let's say Antonio Brown had an amazing year last year, this year he's in the final year of a deal where he restructures his contract to be a $10 million payout to him this year. Let's say he gets injured and tears his ACL or sprains a knee and misses half of the year, and where his production is hurt and in turn loses value on his contract. This is where our insurance company would go evaluate the situation, make sure it complies with his policy and that the injury was the exact reason why he lost value on his contract, and then give a payout to the player based on what the policy stated. The policy gets a constant review at the end of every year, a production-based review to ensure that they're still slotted at the same location as the previous agreement. Premiums and payouts can be adjusted on a per-year basis based on their new production on a non-injury related year. What would happen is the player gets covered for the first term of the contract. They would get paid the difference of where they were slotted in our policy compared to where they actually got paid to. Once this happens, they get paid the difference as well as the difference in signing bonus money based on what the other players in the league are getting at that market value. In this example, he would be slotted as one of the best receivers in the NFL, which is the highest $1 million average there is out there for an NFL wide receiver is 15 million. Let's say he makes 16 million and the payout of the policy would be the difference between whatever his new contract was to what he was slotted at the beginning of this year's policy to cover the player. In addition, he paid premiums over that value. That is our business idea.